Good evening, good afternoon. I'm here with the filmmakers of Til Kingdom Come, Maya Zinshtein and Abie Troen, we are on the eve of Yom Kippur, just before the release of this film and its presentation as part of the Forgive Me Filmathon. And I think that this is a very timely moment to actually discuss this film. And let me start by asking, why did you want to make this film?
Thank you, Isaac, and I'm really glad to be with your audience, and Shana Tova to everyone, and Gmar Chatima Tova. I started this journey together with Abie in 2017 when United States had a brand new president, Trump. and we felt that, I think that the new president kind of might bring this collaboration that actually happens for so long, but we assume that it's probably going to bring it to some high level and high point. And I think it happened. And that's why we're basically following these 4 years of Trump administration. But this film goes into a much deeper connection. And I think as an Israelis, it was important for us to highlight this relationship that's affecting our lives, I think, on a daily basis. And it's important to understand that this story was before Til Kingdom Come has been released in Israel, was something that most of the people weren't familiar with. I think most of them heard about evangelicals and they would tell you, oh, these Christians that love us, right? But no one actually understood the deep motivations. And I think the deep connection between the official Israel and this group of power.
And Abie, let me ask you, it seems that the evangelical community was extremely cooperative. And what have been the reactions? Is this cooperation true? It feels like, your cameras were there and you let them say it all.
Well, first of all, I think it was a unique moment in time. This film was made during the really height of the Trump administration, when the relationship between the Israeli Netanyahu government and the Trump administration of the United States was at, a peak moment of closeness. And I think working as Israeli filmmakers on the ground with the evangelical community, whether that was in Kentucky or all the way up in the White House, there was an openness and a desire to have this particular moment recorded and on camera. And Maya, as a director, her approach was to really let the characters, the subjects rather, speak for themselves and let the audience decide, make their own judgment or thoughts about the beliefs or actions of the subjects. So that was an aesthetic decision, but it was also really a substantive decision that in this moment in time, these people would be given the camera, the microphone to really tell their story in their own words.
So now, the film's being released on VOD, and reflecting back, you've taken some time. There's been some reactions to the film. Our politics have changed in some ways, and maybe not. Maybe we're in some weird deja vu. And I want to know. I feel this film is more timely now than ever, and I would love to know where you see this film as timely right now.
I think it's interesting, and I will tell you just a short story about a part that is not in the film, but it's unbelievably relevant for these days. So Lara Friedman, one of the speakers in the film, she basically talks with us about the ability of Christian evangelicals to take issues that are important to them and to take them forward. And back then in 2019, when we interviewed her, she said, these people, when they lost Roe versus Wade, it's not that they just stopped and said, okay, we'll give up and we'll, change our values. They said, okay, we'll fight till we'll change it back. And back then in 2019, Lara says to us, and we're about to lose Roe versus Wade. But in a way, I think, and that's why this part actually not in the film, because I think for both Abie and for myself, it was hard to believe that actually that can happen. But here we are. And I think United States in a different place from when the film has been released in 2020. And despite the fact that Democrats are in power, I think it's actually, these people that has a strong belief in in these issues, they're not about to disappear to anyway. And maybe Trump is not the president now, but here we are, Bibi Netanyahu is about, well, there are high chances that he will become the prime minister again in Israel. So I think all these questions that Til Kingdom Come raises, and maybe provide some answers, just gives us a glimpse into the state of mind of this group. I think in that sense, you're right. I think the film just becomes more relevant, even if it has been, first released in 2020.
I think just to quickly add on to that, I think, the other thing that is becoming more and more true, and overturning Roe v. Wade is proof of that, is that people in the United States, as in Israel, hold extremely different opinions and actually rarely speak or see the other side. And it always, I was in Los Angeles when the decision of the Supreme Court was made, and it came as a complete shock, as if people knew there were other people who believed in this, but how could this be? How could this happen? And I think not only looking into the past, but looking into the future, there are upcoming midterm elections, what's going to happen in 2024. I think it's very, very important to really, see things from this other perspective and realize this is a mirror image. This is the United States and all of its complications, and make a decision following watching a film like this. What is the best way forward?
Absolutely. I mentioned earlier, we're here. This is part of the Forgive Me Filmathon, and we're here on Yom Kippur, watching this film and reflecting. And I would love to see how you connect this film to Yom Kippur. Abie, you want to give it a go?
Well, I think I'm actually here Zooming with you from my parents' house in Israel. Having come back from the States here, out of a sense that it's on days like this that you really want to look and be with those closest to you. At least that's my decision, and really take the time to look inwardly, almost, what would I want to change? What would I want to make better? And I think this is also true. You're in the States watching this film in the American Jewish community. And I think it's an opportunity to look inwardly and say, okay, where are things happening either as Americans or members of the Jewish community? And what are things that we love, and what are things that we might want to change? And what that decision may be, the things that you appreciate or wish, to change and need some work. I think this film raises really important questions in that regard. And again, particularly looking into the future, 2022, 2024 and beyond, hopefully the film will raise at least an important discussion.
Maya, do you want to add anything? I think Abie summarized it in a very smart way. I do think, this film was a very special journey for me personally as well. And I feel that it allowed me, I was privileged, and Abie and me together to spend such a long time with people that usually won't have an opportunity to meet and to hear, and to be guests in their homes and to get to know them. And for me, this is really the meaning of my life, in a way, to be able to open myself to new worlds, to look at them, to respect them, but also maybe to learn something about myself and about the world that I'm living in. So I hope that the audience that's watching the film now and hopefully later will have the same experience. And I think it's very much connected to Yom Kippur. It's a moment when we stop and we say, okay, who we are, well, at least myself, who I am, where I want to go, and having this opportunity to be with someone completely different from you. I think it teaches a lot about yourself.
And Judgment Day is coming. And Maya, I want to thank you guys so much for your time for this important film. We hope it's as impactful as possible. Have a Shana Tova and an easy fast if you're fasting. And thank you so much.
Thank you for hosting us.
Thank you.
Shana
Yitzi.
Tova.
Shana Tova, Gmar Chatima Tova.